Hello, YouTube users. My name is Elizabeth. I go by Libet. I had recently found out that I have cancer, and I'm gonna do a video. Hopefully not gonna be too long. I tried, and it was 18 minutes, and my video was rejected. So I'm gonna try to keep my eye on the time and keep it under 10 minutes. But I had recently found out that I was sick. And in June, I was diagnosed with having cancer, squamous cell cancer, and it's in my bladder. And in the beginning of the year, I went and I got a flu shot, and I really wasn't feeling good. And that was like in January, February, and I got very, very tired. I was going to work. I was coming home. I was sleeping. And not really much good time for myself to do anything. I just wasn't feeling very good. I was feeling ill, and come April I left work and I stopped at McDonald's because it was a hot day. It was in the 90s, and I was going to go on the drive-through line, and that was too busy, so I went inside. I figured, let me throw some cold water on my face or get a rag around my neck or something to that effect. Well, anyhow, I got in. The line was long. I was online for a while, too. And then I got up to the counter. I paid for my iced tea that I was going to get, one of those big sweet teas, because I had an hour's ride ahead of me. And I felt myself getting woozy back and forth, back and forth. And then I took a step back, and I pretty much don't remember too much. But there was a nurse, and the nurse who was standing behind me, she was just recently off duty, and she saw there was something seriously wrong with me. And she helped me. And there was another guy standing next to her in line, and he was on the cell phone, and she had instructed him, I think, to call the ambulance. So the ambulance came. They took my blood pressure and heart rate and looked at me visually, and they took blood samples and put those little sticky tabs on you to check your heart and stuff of that nature. And they told me I needed to go to hospital. By that time I was feeling somewhat better, and I thought they'd let me go home, but they wouldn't. And they said there's something seriously wrong with you and you needed to be checked out. So I did wind up going to the hospital, and it resulted in an overnight stay. So I stayed overnight, and with me staying overnight, I was instructed the next day when I was allowed to leave, go to my doctor, and I made the appointment to go. And I took my son with me. He's 26, but he doesn't drive. So the doctor says to me, you're going to have to go to hospital. We have somebody over there waiting. They're going to do more tests on you. Well, anyhow, lo and behold, I went to the hospital figuring I'll be there a couple of hours, I'll go home. No. 2 weeks I was in the hospital. Anyhow, that's when I was diagnosed with having the bladder cancer. Kidney failure also. I was having a problem. I was watching the commercials with that little round, I don't know, it was supposed to be a bladder, and the lady's looking all over the place from the bus to see where she could go to the bathroom. I was in this predicament also. It was like every time I stopped my car, I had to go to the bathroom. It was an hour's ride from work. I had to hurry up and like either stop in the middle somewhere, or I got home and I was running straight for the bathroom, and I only have one bathroom in my house. So you can imagine how terrible it was if one of my sons were in there. I have two sons. I have a 14-year-old son and a 26-year-old son that still live with me. I have a 28-year-old, but he doesn't live with me anymore. And Oh boy, it was just terrible being in the hospital, terrible finding out I had squamous cell cancer in my bladder. My right kidney had passed away, my left kidney was sick. They actually tried to put a stent in my kidney, couldn't do it, so I have a tube and I have a bag that drains the urine. It's called a nephrology bag, and that's going to be in there until they actually remove my bladder, which the bladder is like 100% not capable of being saved. Your bladder's about maybe this big, and about this much of the bladder is about normal. That's about normal. So the bladder is totally or not good or whatever. Anyway, I got out of the hospital after 14 days, and I still had to go to doctor's appointments, and my doctor had suggested for me and made the plans for me to go to another hospital that specializes in cancer. So I got a cancer doctor now. Best doctor ever. Easy to speak with. He talks to me about absolutely everything. My nephew, he is the one who is bringing me, because my mother takes care of my father, who's also sick, and she can't be gone for hours at a time because he needs constant care. And my nephew, where he works, he has the best boss in the world. He introduced us, and he thought we would make good friends. We're around the same age, and we both have medical conditions. So whenever he needs to take off, she gives it to him. She's even driven me to the hospital a handful of times, if not more. And I like her. She's a wonderful woman. So that's a positive, that I got to gain a new friend through my nephew. When I talk to the doctor, he walks in the room, he looks right at my nephew, he's like, "Hey, how you doing?" My nephew's been invited to go into the operating room. He met the other doctor that also, he does like the camera robotics part of the surgery. My nephew met with him. He actually talks to him on the phone, and my nephew knows all of my test results, because I also have a little bit of a memory loss problem. So, anyhow, when I was in the hospital, let me tell you, everybody right down to the housekeeping crew and the people who take your orders for your lunch and your dinners and breakfast and all, they're all wonderful people. The nurses who work effortlessly, they do sometimes double and triple shifts. When it becomes your turn, they give you the undivided attention, and they're there for you. That's why they took that job. And it's a blessing in disguise. You know, if you get the right hospital, the right people, they make you feel so comfortable, and the experience is, some people say it's a death sentence. There's a possibility of that, but in my case, the doctor said I was very strong. I had a good diet. I took care of myself. I don't drink. I don't do drugs. I don't smoke. I don't sleep around to get STDs and things of that nature. I was hardworking, and just strong body. I lost a lot of weight also. I went from 165 down to 125, so that's an awful lot of weight, and that was within 3 months' time. I wasn't eating properly. I took 2 bites. I vomited. I went to work, I came home, I was sleeping in between with like no time for myself. Laundry and everything was on the back burner. But I got my wits about myself, and I wasn't really capable of helping my 14-year-old son get off to school, in a good manner and stuff. So his best friend, I'm also very good friends with the mother too. She had said that it was perfectly fine, and she loves my son. My son has wonderful manners in that. So during the week, he stays with her and gets on the bus and gets off the bus. And on the weekends, Friday to Sunday, he's here with me. It's a little easier than during the week. It's less hectic, and I don't have to holler, get up, go to the bus. You know how that is when you have teenagers. And, but, let me check what time. Okay. My eyesight is not all that great either. I have glaucoma in my eyes. But anyhow, it's not a death sentence. There's things that are, things that, boy, that make it a little bit easier. Like the people at the hospital, the people working there, your family helping you out, your friends, anybody and everybody is very helpful. And I'm trying to... Well, anyhow, I'm not going to stay on too long because I don't want this video getting kicked off like the first one. But this is a positive message if you find out that you have cancer. There are things that you'll get through it. The power of prayer also, I'm a Catholic. If somebody comes to me and they're Jewish and they say, I'll pray for you, I'm going to accept it. It doesn't matter which nationality or which denomination you're religious is. I take everything because we all come from one God, as far as I know. And He listens to everybody, and there's power in prayer. So my mom also got my name in the church bulletin, so I know the people. I've lived in this community for quite some time. So there are people who do know me, and they pray for me as well as the priest. And just keep it a positive note, and you'll get through it. Mine is a little bit on the serious side because radiation is too strong, and it'll make me sick, and the cancer that I have is aggressive, so my bladder needs to be removed. So that'll be my next step, my next surgery, having my bladder completely removed, and I'll have, a different way of living at this point in time after that. I'll have a colostomy bag or whatever they might call it. And nothing you can really do about it. So, alright, I'm gonna let you go so I don't get kicked off for the video being too long. And people, if you find out, please keep your faith, keep positive, rely on family and friends. Don't be ashamed to ask for help. The doctors and everybody in the medical, that's why they're there, to help you. Don't be quiet. So I have a physical therapist coming. I have a in-home healthcare nurse coming. And that's their job, to help you. So please be positive, and you'll get through it, the same as me. And I hope this video finds you well. Alright. My name's Elizabeth. I go by Libet Sparks. I'm on Facebook. You could look me up just by my name. LIBET SPARKS. Alright. Bye.